It's a brother up north better than Barry. He didn't get that break. Welcome back to the Break Podcast. Here on this podcast, we acknowledge all athletes who was a star in a city or in a town. Today is no different. We got my boy, John. What's up?
What's good, Mikey Mike?
Chilling, my brother. How you been?
Living life, right? Living life. How about you?
I'm chilling, man. Same shit, different day,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you tell the people your name, what high school, and where you from?
John Valdez. Went to West High,
Yeah.
Tracy, California, right?
Yes, sir.
Graduated '05, like, all the best of us, right?
Listen, we're gonna get right on into it, John. I ain't gonna waste no
Okay.
time with you.
Yes, sir.
What age you pick up a baseball, my guy?
T-ball. I mean, what, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, something like that?
Yeah.
That's about when you start, right?
Yeah.
That's about when you start.
Yeah. What? Who made you? Was it anybody that like made you want to get into it, that influenced you to do it, or?
Made me, yeah, absolutely. Pops made me.
Okay. All right. Did Pops used to play or something, or he just loved the game, or what's up?
So, yeah, my dad went to Milpitas High.
Okay.
Grew up in Milpitas, right?
Yep.
And he played baseball. He played football his entire life. So that's kind of what I followed, that same path, right?
Okay.
Your family, parents, they got so much influence on you, right?
Yeah.
You hope that it's gonna be the good, right? So when you're raising your kids, you just want to do the same thing, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. So was he? I know you play football as well, right?
Of course, of course.
Of course.
I played football and baseball my whole life. I played baseball since like 5, 6, 7, and then
Right.
I started playing football for Tracy Raiders when I was 10 years old, novice, when I was 10 years old.
Okay. Which one you like better? Was it?
That's a hard question, but I think it over time, as I got through high school, it became football. But I was probably even better at baseball. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think it was football just because the love of the game, the physical part of the game. I think that's what really drew me to football more, I think.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
what position did you play in football? For people that don't know, I mean, of course, obviously I know. Yeah. I mean, but for somebody that's out there that's watching this, that's in New Jersey, you know what I mean?
Right.
What position did you play in football?
So, I started off as a 10-year-old just playing receiver. I was always, kind of tall and lanky, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't short and super quick to be a running back. I wasn't big enough to probably be a lineman.
Yeah.
So I started as a receiver, and from there, that's what I stuck with my entire life, right? And then as I got to high school, I went both ways and started playing corner. So
Yeah.
I would play receiver and corner throughout high school. But offense and receiver was my main thing as a 10-year-old.
All right, say no more. I just want to touch on that a little bit. All right.
Yes,
What
sir.
position did you actually play in baseball?
Baseball. So I'm a lefty. So when you're a lefty, you don't got as many options as a righty does.
Okay.
Right. So you either playing anywhere in the outfield, or you're playing first base or pitching. You're not playing third or second or short or catcher. It's just not made for us, right?
Right.
So I played first base my entire life, and then I played a little bit of outfield as well. I could, I was an athlete. I could do what they wanted, but I was really good first baseman, honestly.
What was your favorite position out of was first base? Was that your favorite position? I mean,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's your favorite's usually what you're best at.
Okay, all
and
right.
I was, I was pretty good. Like for you, I don't know what position you played in hoop. What was your favorite position, Mike?
Again, I got different times, different moments. You know what I'm saying? Because I sometimes I like bringing up the ball, and sometimes it's like somebody else could bring it up. Okay, let me run it too.
You could just roll off of that and without carrying the ball with you.
Right. So it's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Or it depends what game, or how the flow of the game is going. For me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but Babe Ruth or Little League?
It's funny, man, because growing up in Tracy, I was Little League.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about no Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Don't put me in that conversation.
Okay.
No, but when you get to high school, you got a lot of friends that played at Babe Ruth, and then you play with your guys at Little League. So when you're at school, me and Alex Popwell, right?
Fact.
We
That's a
go back
fact.
and forth like Babe Ruth's trash. Like you guys are trash. Like you could
Yeah.
never see us in Little League, right?
Yeah.
So you guys battle like just talking, and then once you get to high school, you guys are together now. So it's funny. It's fun how that kind of comes into play, right?
Yeah. Let me. Because I was a guy that was always on the outside looking, looking in for, as far as the baseball. Which one is better, Little League or Babe Ruth? Like
So
you
growing
gotta
up,
go ahead. Go ahead.
growing up, I had to say the talent wise was dead even. It really was. They
Okay.
had a lot of great players. We had a lot of great players in Little League. So, but at the same time, the thing with Little League, I think separates it is you see Little League on Little League World Series, right?
Yep. Yeah. Of
You
course.
see all that on TV. Where's the Babe Ruth World Series? I
Okay.
mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just not as big, I guess. I don't know, but like my little brother, he went to the Little League World Series back in the day, right, for Tracy,
Okay. Yep.
and they went all the way to regionals and stuff. He's on TV and stuff. That's Little League, right?
Yeah.
That's Little League.
Yeah. Let me ask you that. I know you said your little brother. Your little brother play. What position did he play?
My brother Jacob, he went to Tracy High.
Right.
He's like 5 years younger than us.
Okay.
He played second base mostly,
Okay.
and shortstop as well, but I'd say mainly second base. And then he went off to San Jose State and played second base there.
Okay. Who's a better baseball player?
Oh, bro, my little brother will smash on me.
Yeah, by far.
Oh, not even close.
It,
With Jay, but I think he got to see me playing as well,
right. Which?
and he could start at a young age, and he had that talent at a young age,
Yeah.
so we were always on him, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of just took it from there, and he balled out. He did really well throughout high school. Obviously, he got a full ride scholarship, and then he went through San Jose State, and he's like a top 10 all-time hits for San Jose State to this day.
Oh wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
huge. Shout out, little bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. What's the best team you ever played for? Coming up.
Well, there was always all-star teams and
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah. And that's when
There's
I'm
only
more so speaking. Yep.
yeah, even Little League all-star teams, when we were 13, we were 13 years old, I believe it was 13, 14. And me, James Villarreal, we had Chris Smith.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of squad,
Yeah.
and we went pretty far as well. That was probably like one of the best teams, but I played on so many good travel ball teams. Like I got to play with Memo, and I never really got to play with Mo. You know what I mean? So with Roy and Rob, we kind of put this Tracy West little travel ball team together,
Yeah.
and I got to play with these guys I never get to play with. And that's another thing, Gab, I wanted to bring up too. Tracy and West growing up, it was a rivalry, right?
Right.
You don't like each other or whatever it might be, right?
Of course.
You see the movies and stuff, right? For us, again, we were all homies, right?
Right.
Right? Roy, me, you, Izzle, like all of us, and we all came from, you guys came from Williams, we came
Yeah,
from
of
Monte
course.
Vista. We all just we're so close, and I don't think it was really ever like that.
No.
Like we're coming to you guys. I went and saw you play a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
And
You went and
vice
saw
versa.
us play all the time.
Vice versa. Of course. Of
Yeah,
course. It was never
of
like
course.
that.
So I don't know if it's like that. It wasn't like that back then.
Yeah.
But we supported each other, and when we played against each other, we weren't fucking with each other on the game.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
after,
Of course. It's all good.
yeah. So it was cool. It was cool having that because we got to play against each other, man. And then besides, even in games, we're hooping together, right?
Yeah.
We're playing. We're out 7-on-7 together, like all the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
we were always getting better together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was like something that's different from what we had with Tracy and West in our era, our time.
Yeah.
We're super competitive with each other, but we were also all super tight, like homies, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So I mean, I think that made it even more competitive.
Yeah.
For sure, right?
Listen, I heard you touched on Mo.
Yeah.
Mo was, as far as baseball, like I only saw Mo play a couple of times, and he'd tell me like little things. But Mo was like the Sultan of SWAT, the great Filipino.
He was.
You know.
I didn't get to see Mo play very much. Maybe we were 13, 14 All-Stars. We had to play against that side because there was national and American.
Okay.
So that's when he first came around when he moved from San Ho, right?
Yeah.
And then I got to play travel ball with him for a year and stuff. As far as like a pure hitter, Gam, like just a pure hitter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I remember one game, uh, I was batting, I think fourth or third, and then Mo was batting fourth. I hit a line drive in Sonora, right
Yeah.
out the fence for a triple, right? I'm happy, everything's good. Mo's up next. Mo comes up and puts one like 500 feet in the trees, bro. Like I just looked at it, like
Yeah.
just a natural hitter, bro. Like, he didn't have to really work at nothing. It was just see the ball, hit the ball. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So Mo was probably one of the best natural hitters that I've ever seen.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, that says a lot. All right, shout out,
yeah.
my boy Mo. Mo.
R.I.P. Mo for sure.
R.P. Mo for surely. What
Yeah.
So you get to your freshman year. What is this like? That team, your freshman year playing baseball. What is that
Oh,
like?
man, our
Are you
freshman
guys
year
good
it
or
was great. It was
yeah?
great because I think we had lost just one game the entire year
Really?
as freshmen. Yeah, we lost one game the entire year, and we had some really good guys from Babe Ruth, and we had really good guys from Little League,
Well, give
and
me
we all came together, and we had squad.
you
We
give
had
me
squad.
can you give me a couple guys off this team that was on the squad? Or y'all was making some
Andrew
moves?
Trethaway, Bobby Allen was throwing gas.
Yeah.
Bobby Allen was throwing gas.
Bobby.
Man, we had Bobby Vance, we had Ornelas, we
Yeah.
had Alex Popwell.
Uh,
Man, we had a good team.
yeah. What you
We
what
had a really good team.
do you remember who y'all lost? That one loss was to?
I think it was Lincoln. I think it was like one of the first games of the year's preseason, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Lincoln beat us by a couple runs, but that was the only loss we had the entire year.
Okay. Favorite?
Yeah.
What was your favorite year playing in high school?
It would probably have been that year because we were just so good that year. I mean, sophomore year we were really good too. Probably lost a few games.
Yeah.
I feel like the West High program for baseball at that time was top notch, right? We were only losing 4 or 5 games.
Right.
As
Right.
even as a freshman, as sophomores, varsity, we were only losing 4 or 5 games
Yeah.
every year. So the program we had was really good. Steven Garcia and Curtis Griffin,
Yep.
just a lot of really good players, man.
Listen. Okay. So I heard about Curtis Griffin. What?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you touch on him? How good was this guy? For
So
somebody
it's
that don't
funny.
know.
Yeah, Curtis he's an absolute man when it came to soccer.
Oh,
He was the
right.
truth, bro.
Right.
So I told you I didn't start playing football till I was 10. I was playing soccer as 7, 8, 9 competitive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before I started playing football.
Yeah.
And all my competitive teams was with Curtis and his dad. He was the coach. So Curtis was too dope at soccer. And then and he played at Babe Ruth his whole life, right? So I
Yeah.
didn't know how he was in baseball, but you always hear, man, this boy Ed Curtis is so dope. Watch, he's gonna be the best player for you guys and all this and all that, right? Because you don't know, he's in Babe Ruth. I've never seen him play.
Of course.
Uh, and once I seen him play, yeah, he's the truth. And it's like he doesn't have like a cannon for an arm. He's not the fastest.
Yeah.
But this dude base hit after base. He kind of reminds me like Ichiro, but like white. You know
Got
what I'm saying? Like this dude
right.
just hit after hit after hit after hit. As far as defense goes, he don't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
You could count on him at all times. Like
Yeah.
he's eating everything up and he's hitting everything.
Bro, listen. I always wanted to, because before we get off of Babe Ruth and Little League,
Yeah.
I really want to play, but I had friends like Jared Lemos who like
Yeah,
I play
Jack, yeah.
defense, and when I get mad, I hit people, and I'm like I'm looking. I saw our KJ
Oh
and
yeah, KJ. Yeah.
and what's the Tyler Ari. I seen both of
Oh,
them.
okay.
I seen they eye after a baseball, and I was like, it's
No, thank you.
it's no like I want to be out there like Willie Mays. I had passions of doing
like
that, but
Griffey.
I'm like, Jerry telling me throw 80 miles plus. I'm like, and that you get mad and you hit somebody? Oh no.
Uh,
I'm
yeah, so
fucking
yeah, Jared threw gas. Jared threw gas.
yeah,
He played sophomore year. He didn't play freshman year, but I wish he did because the dude had he just didn't care for it at the time, I guess.
your talent. Yeah,
But hey, Jared threw gas, bro,
yeah,
and he was a little wild.
yeah,
So when you're in the box knowing that, yeah, that's kind of scary a little bit. You're gonna might get hit.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, I pitched as a lefty. I was a pitcher my whole life too, and
yeah.
I wouldn't say I try to hit anybody, but if you're like on the plate and you're like hugging it, I'm gonna get you off of it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. When you say I'm gonna get you off the plate, it's like that's how I'm supposed to be at the plate. What do you mean? Like you want to hit me?
Yeah, I mean the baseball is like oh man, it's a lot more thinking than
It's
people think.
chess. It's chess.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
especially when you're a pitcher and a batter. Like as a batter, and it's more when you get older. When you're
yeah,
young, you're just trying to throw strikes, right?
yeah,
When you're young, Babe Ruth, Lily, you're just trying to throw strikes. And as you get to high school, you try to command your pitches. It's all about location.
yeah.
So when someone's hugging the plate, kind of I just never liked it. I feel like you're messing up my target. I'm going right on you. So you're gonna get
Sure.
off that plate. You know what I'm saying?
Can I
You're
ask
gonna
you
be thinking about that.
at your best? What's the fastest you throw?
Oh man, I was never pumping nothing like Jared or any of them boys
Or
at all.
what was your best pitch?
Uh, I had all I threw was a fastball, curveball, and a knuckle.
Yeah,
But as a lefty, I feel like it's just we kind of have an advantage
was that
because you
that
don't
last
see
time?
that pitch coming as much as a
Yeah,
righty because there's just so many righties, right?
right,
So you
right,
don't see that side for the ball coming from that side as
right,
much.
right.
So yeah, I think lefties have an advantage. That's why lefty pitchers they have an advantage.
Got you. I say no more. Toughest pitcher you ever faced playing from any
Uh,
era of you playing. Toughest pitcher you ever faced and why?
you know, I actually got to face Bobby Allen in practice before,
Mm,
and he was always on my team.
yeah,
And he went to Babe Ruth, so I never got to face him growing up. I was always facing James Villarreal, which is probably the person who threw the hardest from our side.
yeah,
And the thing about Bobby, he's a lefty,
yeah.
and I'm a lefty.
Mm,
So seeing it come from that side, I did pretty well with lefties, but Bobby threw hard.
yeah,
He threw real hard.
yeah,
Yeah, he was always one of the hardest throwers in the league.
yeah.
He was probably close to hitting 90 for sure, high
Easy.
80s for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so him and Coleman Paiva.
Coleman.
Coleman threw gas.
Col-
Coleman was I'd rather hit Coleman though because he's not a lefty.
I mean,
But Coleman threw gas too. So those top two, Romeo.
Rome.
Uh, I got to face Romeo. So me and James were out. We were 14 playing Little League with 15, 16-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Um, we had Romeo on our team and we had
Okay.
Matt Eichholtz on our team. So me and James, we're 14 years old. Eichholtz and Romeo are 16.
Oh yeah.
And
Legends.
dude,
Legendary.
they're for sure the two
Legend.
best players I ever played with.
Oh,
Without a doubt. And they both got scholarships as well.
right.
But Romeo threw gas. He was just such an athlete.
Yeah.
And then Eichholtz threw gas too. So I got to face them in practice. Everyone that I'm telling you, Bobby, Eichholtz, and Romeo, I got to face them in practice. I didn't, anyone else that was really out there, I wouldn't say nothing crazy. It
Yeah.
was those three right there that were probably the hardest to hit off of.
What would you say Icos threw?
Got to be high 80s for sure.
Easy.
High 80s for sure. Same with Romeo.
Yeah.
And they're tall too. Like Icos was real tall,
Icos
right?
legend at Tracy.
Yeah, I already know.
Well,
Basketball too, right?
Legendary. What?
Exactly. So when you're that tall, the ball's coming from a different angle, man. Baseball's all about angles.
Yeah.
So, when you got two tall guys like that and the ball's just coming down like two big statues are just throwing them down like that, it's just different angles. So, those two and Bobby Allen are the three probably best pitchers I got to hit against.
Oh,
Yeah.
toughest team that you play against.
Man, it had to be St. Mary's. I think, and it sucks to say it because it's always St. Mary's in every sport, you know. Football, we couldn't beat them. Baseball, we were close but couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
You know, they're just another breed over there, man. You know, at that time,
What
you
was?
know.
Do you remember who they had that was like? Oh yeah, he was a guy
For football or baseball?
for baseball.
Baseball, so Willie Tuatama was their third baseman, and he was also their quarterback.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
though that dude was, you know, obviously he had arm talent as a quarterback, and he had arm talent as a baseball player. They you know they hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Like Alex Papa was our quarterback at West, right?
Yeah.
He had a cannon, and he also had a cannon with baseball. Same thing with Tommy Roy. I
Right.
grew up playing with Tommy Roy my whole life in Little League. That's how I met Tommy when we were 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a really good quarterback too. You know, he started late with Tracy High. When you know, if he would have started younger, that would have been even better, right?
You guys are athlete.
But you know, same thing. He threw hard, and he same thing with the football. If you could throw a football, you could throw a baseball hard too. You know,
Facts.
is what
That's
I've learned.
that's a fact. Say
Yeah,
say no more. You said St. Mary's toughest by far.
by far. And Tokay at the time
Yeah.
was also really good because they had this guy David Cooper. I don't know. I think he played hoop too.
David
I
Cooper.
think I think he played hoop as well, but
Okay.
he went to Cal State Fullerton as one of the top players coming out of California. Period. And he threw gas, and
Yeah.
he was a great hitter though.
Yeah.
He was a great hitter. So you know, he alone brought them to where they were. But
Okay.
I still think as a team, St. Mary's was probably the best all around team.
Okay. Most memorable game from high school. What's your
uh,
give me one from high school, then give me one from Little League.
I mean, we had, but you know, there's a lot of good games, but the
Oh,
only time I ever threw a no hitter was my freshman year against Buchanan.
really?
Uh, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's
So
a lot of people that pitch that never throw a no hitter in they whole life of pitching. You know what I'm like?
it's not easy.
It's
It's
not
not
easy.
easy. I think I walked one dude, but I had a guy a no hitter, and it was dope because my grandparents were there. And you know,
Yeah,
when the grandparents come, you know, you gotta really
gotta act up.
do
Yeah,
something, right?
no, absolutely. It take a lot to
You,
get to bring him out the house, so you gotta,
that's
what
what
I
I'm,
mean?
bro. It takes a lot to get out of the house. They come from Milpitas, like you know what I
Absolutely.
mean. Like you had to do good, right?
It's time to act up.
And it's funny because you know old people they don't care. Like my grandpa, if I didn't have a good game, he'll first thing I'm walking out, first thing he's saying, you know, John, that wasn't too good of a game. You could do better, right? You don't want
Yeah,
because your grandparents are
brutally
ruthless, you know.
honest. Honest.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
yeah, brutally honest. You gotta respect that.
I
You
do.
said, and this is a you said freshman year.
Freshman year, yeah, and then little league wise, I would say is going in that team that we had where we went all the way to regionals. We had a tight game and we had to go to extra innings and we won it in like the 11th inning. I don't even remember how well I did that game, but just that game alone is what always will stick with me, right? Because that's a good thing about sports. They're team games, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's just learning that camaraderie and having your brothers out there, and that's why sports is such a great thing for kids, right? I
yeah,
mean, for me, sports was a reason why I had to get good grades. Sports was the reason why I couldn't have no Fs. I could only have a certain amount of Saturday school hours, right?
right, right,
So you
right.
had to be in class, right?
No, absolutely, for sure.
So, you know,
Right.
I think that was a big thing, man, of me graduating and being successful with school was because I had to.
Yeah,
Because I had to play sports. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I had to love the game.
I get it. I get it.
You did
Tough.
it too.
No, of course. I think sports is definitely a plus for those little things that you said, where it's like I gotta get good grades to be able to play, to be on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to graduate, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a certain
Yeah.
amount of Saturday school hours, to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All those things are pluses. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna help you get through
Absolutely.
school. You know what I mean? Um, this part of the segment, brother, is no right or wrong answer. I'm just gonna ask you your opinion, and you just tell me what you think.
Okay.
Tell me in your opinion. Okay, you got you got three people on all the bases are loaded. You need one person to come up and bat. Who's batting fourth? And I'm about to give you the lineup. Bonds, Mark McGuire, Babe Ruth, or Griffey?
Oh my
You take
God.
this hit. You need everybody to come in. Who are you dependent on? Where you like, okay, this guy's about to. I trust him. You're the coach.
Okay. So obviously, Babe Ruth is a legend and the greatest player and all that, but I ain't never seen the man play,
Okay,
right?
I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? Um, Griffey was my all-time favorite player growing up my whole life.
Boy,
He's a lefty.
boy.
I'm a lefty. I made sure I had the shoes, I had the cleats, I had it all. Griffey was the man. That's my favorite
Yeah.
player to this day.
Say no more.
But I wasn't putting him there. I'm putting Barry Bonds, and I'm an A's fan. I don't like the Giants. Barry Bonds was the best hitter of all time, period.
Period. Hands down.
Dude, hands down, like the man was getting walked like crazy because if you didn't walk him, he was gonna probably hit it out.
Yeah.
And I understand all the steroid talk and all that, but that does not help you hit a baseball. I mean,
No.
it'll help you hit it farther. And I
Yeah.
understand if he took it, I get it, I get all that, but it does not help you hit a baseball. This man was an MVP before the roids, before he got huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going Barry no matter what in the fourth spot.
Period. All right.
Period.
Say no more. I respect it. Listen,
Yeah.
this is your thing.
Yeah, I'm just being honest.
I respect it.
Yeah.
You the coach. You could put anybody in to finish off this game. What pitcher are you putting in to close this thing out? And none of them have to close it out. Which one you putting in out of these guys? Randy Johnson, Maddox, Koufax, Bobby Gibson, Pedro Martinez, Mariano Rivera.
So it was funny. It was funny because I was already thinking Randy Johnson off the top of my head. And then you said Rivera at the way end. And that reminded me like he was the greatest closer of all time, right?
Right. Right.
It's going to come down to Randy and Rivera just because I think Randy was the best pitcher, period. Like I told you see how tall this man is. And he's a lefty. So think about the pitch, how it looks coming off of his hand, the angle, how fast he was throwing it. He was super unorthodox. So it's different, man. It's good to be different in baseball.
Yeah.
And then he also went to where'd he go at Livermore High? I think Randy Johnson, because Bobby Allen's dad caught for him, was his catcher.
Really?
Yeah, Livermore or I don't know if it's Logan, but if we look it up, Randy Johnson.
No, I know definitely from our them parts for sure.
So Bobby Allen's dad was his catcher. He caught Randy Johnson. That was that's who his catcher was in high school. So it's Bobby would always have tell stories about that. But Randy Johnson, I would probably give him a little bit of the edge. But Mariano Rivera is also he is the best closer of all time, right?
Facts.
But I'm gonna go with Randy just because he's just a freak, bro.
Listen, I was at a restaurant, man, and I was at a restaurant. I was working at that, and Randy Johnson walking in. It's like it's so intimidating because he like hella tall,
Hell tall.
serious. It's like
did he have long hair still?
Yeah. You know how long it
long
was
hair
like
throws me off.
I can't think of what movie he played in. I want to say it was Major Leagues, maybe, where he played he played the pitcher, but it was like it was like intimidating when he came to the mound. That's how I felt when he came to the cashier. It was like,
bro, he's crazy. Imagine like this dude's already on top of a mound, which is a couple feet higher, right? And he's already 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. And he was throwing 100 miles an hour, bro.
No, yeah, he was different, bro. He's
how do you hit something like that's why I always feel like baseball is probably the hardest sport to play.
Yeah.
How do you hit 100 mile an hour fastball?
It's man, bro. I commend my
you know what I mean?
hand and eye coordination, timing right there, bro. That's just like
it's crazy.
Yeah. I got one more question for you. Who's playing outfield or greatest outfielder for you? Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, or Griffey, or Bonds?
Maybe I'm too biased on this one, but I'm going with Griffey. I'm going with Griffey. Back in his prime, he covered a lot of field, right?
Yeah.
He covered it. So did Barry, when Barry was out there, right?
For sure.
Willie Mays, I mean, they named they named parks after him, right? You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But I just gotta go with Griffey, bro. Like he was just an
it's real.
athlete,
It's,
covered so much field. Like, the man could be in left field and get to right field like no big deal.
I get it. Who's on this baseball? Who's on your baseball Rushmore? Who's at baseball for you?
You mean the top four, like any position, like just the best?
Four of all time, where you like these my guys.
Uh
You can't
you
speak
gotta
that.
go Barry. You gotta go Griffey. Man, I mean, I gotta get at least one pitcher. You already know how I feel about Randy Johnson.
Is he in there?
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
I have to have him in there.
Say no.
And then the last one, man, there's just so many. I mean, I guess you gotta put Babe Ruth, right?
Say no more. Say
You
no
gotta
more.
just, you kind of have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Who's your Tracy
You know what, man?
of all time?
Someone that for sure the best player has got to be Tyler Kelly. And this is something that I gotta say about Tyler, man, because I had Tyler on my team when I was 12 and he was 11. And Lily,
Yeah.
Tyler was not the most athletic player. You know what I mean? He didn't have all the athleticism, God-given talent. But what Tyler had, this dude was just fundamentally sound. Like he was just his dad was working him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the
Yeah.
thing that parents have the control over.
Mm-hmm.
Working with your kids constantly. If your kid wants it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He he just was not the most talented, but every year he was just getting better and better and better
Yeah.
until he went to Pepperdine, which is not that, it's a D1 school. It's a great school to go to on a
Absolutely.
full ride scholarship, right? But it's not the Cal State Fullertons.
Oh,
It's not the,
no.
North Carolinas and the
Pac
Hurricanes and all
12, Pac
these other
10.
great baseball programs, right?
Right.
But this man still gets drafted. He's still in the league today.
That's lit.
So just one thing about him, man, just how his work ethic.
Work ethic.
Like if you're mature at a young age, and Mike, I'm sure you could think this too,
Of
like,
course.
bro, like you could have worked way harder and probably kept going, right?
Sure.
If you would have
Sure.
been mature enough to keep
For sure.
working.
For sure.
And that's what I'll be telling my kids too, is just I guess you could say I did everything. I did zero period. I made sure I weight lifted when I was supposed to. I was at practice. But that if that's all you're doing, this other kid down the street or in
Working.
Stockton, he's
Uh-huh.
doing way more,
Working.
right?
You working.
So I think with Tyler Kelly, I got so much respect for him because he didn't have all the talent, but the man just kept getting greater and greater and got to the league, right?
Yeah.
So it's anyone can do it if you're just gonna put the work in, right?
Yeah.
So
Give
I mean, Tyler, for me, he's one of the best. I told you Romeo. I told you I Colts.
give me one more on this.
Oh man, I have to go my little brother, man, because I've seen him play so much.
Say no
I've
more.
seen him do so well,
Yeah.
and coming from a young age, I go with my little brother, man.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Two, two players that you two players that you love to play with. That you always like, just you love, great teammates.
Andrew Trethaway.
Andrew Trethewey.
And if you would ask me who I would put as my four hitter forever, it
Yeah.
would have been Andrew Trethaway.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? And then Mo would have been my three hitter.
Mo.
Mo would have been my three hitter. Leading off, I would have put Curtis
Okay.
and Ty Kelly as my second. So Curtis, Ty Kelly, and then Mo and Treth would have been my top four. Might have been my 1, 2, 3, 4 to go up and to hit to be in the lineup. That's my lineup right there.
Okay. I totally respect that. I could get
Yeah.
down with that. What would you tell the junior, the 16-year-old, 17-year-old you right now? What would you tell you? What advice would you give yourself?
Be more mature. Like I was just like, we didn't at times you just don't care. You just do the minimum, right?
Right.
There's someone out there that's just working way harder than you. And as Gam, like you wish you can go back to the hardwood floor and play
Of
again at
course.
that
Of
level
course. Of course.
competitively.
Of course.
Same thing when it comes to baseball, same thing when it comes to football. So if you know what you know now, you'd have just worked 20 times harder. Because
Absolutely.
someone else that working 20 times harder, they're gonna go where you wish you would have went, right?
For sure. For sure.
So that's what it comes. That's what I would tell them. That's what I tell my kids too.
Say no more. What do you miss about the game?
Man, even though pitching, probably pitching because it's kind of like it's the whole game's on you. It's at your rhythm. It's under your control, and I would have to go with pitching, man, because you're just in control of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Great. Greatest player you ever seen? If you had to go with one, greatest player you seen play in from Tracy.
Man, I thought yeah, pitcher wise, Bobby Allen was he was on another level because how hard he threw so hard, right?
Yeah.
So and I got to play with him every year, so I'll go with Bobby, man, because this man threw absolute gas.
Period.
Period, bro. I was not trying to get in that box because he was a little wild too, so that's kind of
Yeah.
scary too, you know. Your thoughts are like, man, is this going to be right there? Is it going to be at me or what? That's kind of
Yeah.
scary.
Okay.
So I'll go with Bobby for sure.
Bobby for sure. Your
Mhm.
choice coming fresh out of high school. Your grades is right. You're 100% healthy. Give me two colleges you would have loved to go play for.
Baseball at the time, it was Cal State Fullerton was going crazy. That
Okay.
was probably one of the best schools to go to at the time for baseball. But I probably would have wanted to go to like Cal or San Jose State or something like that because I would want to stay local too.
Okay.
I think I would have wanted to stay local, but Cal State Fullerton, if you had the opportunity, you would go there.
Okay. When you knowing the information that you have now, would you still had chose to go to West for baseball or for sports in
Absolutely,
general?
absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I could never see myself wearing green and gold at all.
No, taking that out of the equation. If you could go
Okay.
to any high school in the world, like it could be a modern day, it could be
Okay.
a Bosco. You know what I'm saying? It could be De La Salle. You know what I'm saying? St. Mary's.
Honestly, I would have stuck with West Side just because the program and the coaches were actually really good.
Yeah.
Coach Rice, Coach Moore, like they were actually really good coaches, and I learned a lot from them. And they give you every
Right.
opportunity to get better too. So
Yeah. Of
I wouldn't change nothing about baseball going to a different school. You say something about football, yeah. I mean, De La Salle or
course.
you can't really beat that when it comes to
I get it.
football, right?
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Greatest advice a coach gave you that you still live by today.
Oh man. Um, I remember Coach Loggins would we had a class in high school where it was me, Joe Foster, Isaiah, and Alex Popwell all in an English class together, right?
Yeah.
So that's bad news, right? That's bad news, right?
Absolutely. Sound pretty about y'all about to get
It
into
sounds like
it.
bad news. So we got in trouble one day and we had to do gassers like after practice, like just like nonstop, bro. To like I think Isaiah might have thrown up. I'm not sure. One of us was throwing up for sure. I don't know who it was. I don't know if I could throw Isaiah under the bus, but it might have been Isaiah. But I
Right.
know I wanted to throw up.
Right.
Uh, but he was just like, guys, listen, like, football, you don't know when the last time you're gonna put a helmet on is, but for the rest of your life, you're gonna have to work, you're gonna have to get money, you're gonna have to be successful, right? So besides this game that we're playing, when you need to take school seriously because that's what you're gonna have as you continue if you don't continue with sports. It's
Yeah.
gonna be your school, your education, and the being a good person in the workforce, right?
Yeah.
Making money and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Being successful. So that's really something that stuck with me after he just gassed us for 20 suicides. Uh, but that had always stuck with me too. And you think about that stuff when you're grown, right?
Absolutely. Of
You think
course.
about that stuff now.
Of course. Well, man, listen, this is our time, brother. I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out, man. I just had to have you on the show to give you your flowers, man. It was an honor watching you. It was an honor playing against you coming up, man.
Yeah.
Always a hell of an athlete. Thank you, man. That's it.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Gams. Good seeing you. I hope all the best for you. Miss you, bro.
Oh, I miss you, brother. Oh, we'll tap in for surely.
You already know.
All right, say no more, brother. Thank
All
you.
right, brother.
All right,
Yes, sir.
peace.
Later.
And just like that, we out.